We got a big show today, ladies and gentlemen, all brought to you by Chevy, but we got a big money match that has been presented to yours truly that I have accepted. We talk all about that. We got a brand new video out. That's a phenomenal concept. Jersey Jerry starting from 50 yards out on every hole at Macklemore Resort's new The Keep golf course, playing against the four-man scramble. Great video, Trent.
Really good video, really good podcast, really good show that you're about to listen to. We talk about Scotty Scheffler. We talk about some of the ratings from the CJ Cup that I think is going to surprise some people. Certainly surprised us. You get a baby update from Frankie. So, there's a lot going on in the four-play world, but, you know who's always there for us? It's Chevrolet. And they're the best. The cars are incredible and they're the best. That's all I can say about it.
Athletic, bold, commanding. The Equinox EV helps you show up in style. If it's distance you're after, Equinox EV offers 319 miles of EPA estimated electric range with front wheel drive. You can leave the drive in the Equinox EV and show up to the course energized with available Super Cruise hands-free driver assistance technology. We also have a full Oakmont review as we played Oakmont from the tips, filmed the whole video, which you're going to see in a few weeks. Equinox EV has a massive 17-inch diagonal center screen, the largest of any EV in its class. When it comes to EVs, Equinox EV is the smartest choice you can make. Let's talk some golf. Foreplay, presented by Barstool Sports. We are back, and there's a lot to talk about. Per usual, we got a little bit of drama in our own world. The Internet Invitational has got people going. Who's going to make the list? Who is not? People are chiming in on what our decision-making is, who we're fighting for, who we're not fighting for. So we can, of course, react and continue to talk about that, as I'm sure we will for the next couple months. I agreed last night on Twitter to a $25,000 match against a guy on Twitter who I don't really know who he is. I just saw a tweet. I saw him, with a lot of comments about this. He's a 4 handicap. There's no way in hell, whatever. And then I'm a 7 and then $25,000. I saw he had a decent amount of following. So I said, absolutely, that's a no-brainer. And then a bunch of people appeared to jump on that. So I would like to, whoever that your friend Kyle, is it the guy's name, is I DM'd him immediately and I said, hey, we're going to set this whole thing up. We're going to figure it out, letting you know this isn't just a fart in the wind kind of tweet. So we're going to set that thing up soon. I'm going to play this man for $25,000, Joe.
Yeah, that's as good as it gets. Like when we did that grudge match between Dave and Jerry, it was like for 50 grand or whatever after the Ryder Cup last year. It's one of our most viewed videos of the last 2 years. Like there's something about when someone calls you out and throws that type of cash on the table and you just accept it without even thinking. You don't even know who this guy is. You've never seen him hit a golf ball. He's watched you play golf for his whole entire life, essentially, because he knows everything about your handicap. He knows everything that he wants to know about your game. He's calling you out and you accept it. Like that brings in the people. That is what puts asses in the seats. I think now, I don't know. I think he works for like another media company. I think this needs to be your guy's own. I don't think he can get like backed by his company to put money. This has to come right out of like his wife's bank account.
Personal check. Yeah. Wife's bank account. He's got to get it approved. I want his wife mad at him if he has to pay it. I want to be devastated if I have to pay it. $25,000 is a serious amount of money. So no, I agree. There's no backing. The same deal when you're going to do the Whitney match years and years ago where Dave, we're going to play for 10 grand. Dave's like, it's got to come out of your pocket. So I completely agree with that. You can't be bankrolled. We can't have sponsors covered. It's not going to charity.
It has to hurt. It has to hurt. Like,
bro, handing somebody $5 when they're your buddy and you lose to them sucks.
Dude, we have a video that just hit like 200-something thousand views in like a day of us playing for $300. Like, we play for $300. You're gonna play for 25 grand against a guy that's calling you out about your handicap and shit. That came out of nowhere. That came across my desk and I legitimately went, whoa, out loud. I mean, I tweeted out immediately. I think I was the first person to see that thing.
And you see the success of the hater series. Like you can go back and look at the numbers, and I know you filmed a bunch of those again already, so those will be coming out. But like, there, Riggs, you're a very polarizing figure in the golf world in terms of like your play and how you play on video and how you don't play on video. So there's just so many people out there, and we've seen it with the haters where they're like, I want to play this guy, let me play him. And those matches go how they go. But then on top of that, if you put 25,000, there's people throwing that in their group chats being like, oh, I wish I had done this. Oh, I wish I had done this. And I want to see it, and everybody wants to see it, and I am fully on the same page with you guys. It has to be your own money. It has to fucking hurt the person who loses it.
Yep. Yeah, you got to bring a personal checkbook, I think, is the minimum acceptance. Otherwise, cash. I need that. we're going to need that. You got to hand it to the other person. But yeah, it's been a stretch right here. We filmed 3 new hater videos last week. I think people are not going to be able to believe these videos. I think there's been a little bit of in the hater matches of like there's a little bit too much kumbaya. These matches were insane. Shout out to Brendan and to Kyle Timms and Jared, our whole crew behind the scenes who have really dug into trying to find people, because this next string, season 2 of hater matches, there was no love lost. The last match we filmed, I was telling Trent about it at Oakmont when we were walking around getting our absolute dicks kicked in at that place. But there was 3 separate all-out screaming matches between me and the hater guy in the last match that we played, and he showed up in the Arizona desert. Is 100 degrees out, wearing black pants, black shoes. He demanded to Jonesy, who goes through the whole interview process before he builds up the background, he demanded that they be finished with all of his obligations 1 hour before the tee time, because he has a very strict 1 hour pre-golf routine. And then he and I got into a first tee screaming match before anybody hit their first tee shot, screaming about which tees we were going to play. And that was maybe not even the best match. So it was the hater matches are coming. So then when I saw that tweet about 25K, I was like, you fucking bring it right now. Because last week, I think I played a 6, a 4, and a 2, and we had some all-time matches that people aren't going to believe. And so it's pretty simple. I see your handicap. That's what you claim you are. I'm pretty confident if my handicap's lower, I could beat somebody. We could play the handicap game all day. As bad as people think I am, the guys that keep the on-course handicaps, which I saw they put those out last week, they're like, yeah, we've added up all the scores that would count in a handicap. I think Riggs is at like a 7.5, which is like 2 strokes worse than my actual handicap. So is the camera make me 2 strokes worse? Maybe it does. Anyways, we could figure all that out because I've accepted the match. We're going to have our guys film it, as long as I imagine that's kind of kosher with this guy. We'll have our guys film it. They know what they're doing. We'll put it on our YouTube. I think it's probably good for this guy. It's a lot of people DM me, don't give this guy the time of day. And I kind of always come from the Dave school thought on that of like, I'm not sitting there considering if we're going to elevate this person. I don't really give a shit if it's good. It just seemed like the obvious thing to do. I saw it, responded to it immediately. $25,000 match. Let's go. So again, I don't know much about this guy. It looks like he does MLB stuff, but I think we're going to play for 25.
I want to be clear on his wording here because it is going to go on our YouTube channel. He said, if you want some extra content, I'll play Riggs straight up stroke play for $25,000. That's our video. I just want to make that clear. I don't know where, I don't want people to be like, oh, no, I actually wanted to come on. All right, whatever. It's going on the Foreplay YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah. You don't come at us and then think you're going to what is this? We work for you? Like, you came out and fucking tweeted at us. So that's not even. That's
what was the original
I wouldn't even
phrasing?
consider that a debate.
I'll read it.
The original phrasing was.
I can read it here. I can't fathom how Riggs Barstool can tell people with a straight face that he's a 4 handicap. LOL. Just the most blatant lie on the internet. I'm a 7.3 handicap. If you want some extra content, I'll play Riggs straight up stroke play for 25K at Barstool Sports at Foreplay Pod.
Done. 25K accepted.
Oakmont, we touched on it. Tickets. I know the USGA. Look, they set this whole thing up. They did a whole influencer day for the for Oakmont, which is not easy. They only get so much time, and they rent out the course for the US Open and the whole deal to give it to all the different influencers to go out there, film stuff, allow us to do it from the tips if we wanted to, which usually they're closed off because they're saving them for the tournament tees and all that. Very cool. And the USGA asked us to kind of promote ticket sales. So we'll put some links out there. I'm going to when I post some of the videos of content that I took on social. But tickets, the US Open, Oakmont, Pittsburgh. We talked about the town a little bit last time. Pittsburgh is such a cool town, man. I know me and Beef were talking about it in the car. It was his first time there. We talked about it a little bit on last show. But, dude, Trent, being in Pittsburgh, it's just got that feel, man. It feels real. It feels like old school. It feels tough. It feels like you're in the Rust Belt. It's just got that like blue collar feel to it. And then all the PNC and the high all being like right next to each other with all the bridges and the rivers running through it. I fucking love that town.
Well, and if you're talking tickets, like where we stay, we were downtown. Like I could see PNC Park from my hotel room. You're 20 minutes from the golf course. Like you can get there fast. It's not like you have to take 45 minutes, an hour and a half. Like if you go to the US Open at Oakmont, you can stay in the city and be at the golf tournament relatively quickly. I'm sure the traffic's going to be different and all that, but like you're really close out there. And I'm with you. Like I love any city that has a feel I'm into. Like Boston has a feel, Chicago has a feel, San Francisco has a feel, New Orleans has a feel, and Pittsburgh has a feel. And it's that blue collar. You're watching trains go across bridges, and it's a really, really cool city. So yeah, and even if you can go to Oakmont, and I do want to talk a little bit about just the golf course and that day that we had out there. It's awesome. And I obviously they've had the US Open there before. It's a historic venue. So yeah, if you get a chance to go, get a ticket, stay downtown, maybe go to like a Pirates game, and then go to the fucking golf tournament. That's a good weekend in Pittsburgh.
Ooh, baby, I hope the Pirates are in town that week at some point, because that's such a good little weekend. That's a good point. It took us 20 minutes maybe to get to the golf course from where we were staying, and the town, I guess it's maybe the town of Oakmont or whatever that nearby town is really cool. They've got the Oakmont Bakery, which I know like Paige and her crew stopped by and they were showing us pictures of these like cinnamon rolls that they got. That place is iconic. And then that whole little like old school village town kind of the Oakmont area that you drive through is like New Englandy kind of feel to it is awesome. And it's only, 20-minute drive from downtown. Let's get into Oakmont. I've been there. I've been lucky enough to be there a handful of times. There's a couple of guys that come out and play in Arizona every year that are members. So been able to like parlay some of our Barstool Classic stops into coming into early and playing at Oakmont. I've stayed on property at those bunkhouses once before with Kiz and his crew. Our boy Tommy Wyatt, who me and Frankie stayed with during the Masters. He's an Oakmont guy. So got a couple connections. I've been lucky enough to be there. Seeing other people see it for the first time is very cool. What were your first kind of thoughts of Oakmont?
Well, the clubhouse is right up my alley. I love old. I love the feel of it. You know, there's plush leather chairs, dark wood, carpet on the floor. I said I felt like I was a vinyl record. You know the way vinyl records make you feel? It's warm. You put the needle down and it's like, oh yeah, that's how the Oakmont clubhouse is. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, but it's old, and I really like that feel. And my takeaway from Oakmont, I mean, the golf course was incredible, and I actually really, really enjoyed playing it. But that day that we had out there was really interesting, and it showed how far YouTube golf content has come. Like, because it was shotgun start, everybody starts in a different hole, and as you're going through the golf course, you're passing people on other fairways, and it's Bob, and it's Cold Cuts, and it's Paige, and it's Grant, and it's like it was really just kind of a strange thing where it's like, wow, this whole day the USGA just decided to have every single creator out here, which I thought was really cool. And the golf course itself, like I had talked to Francis about it because I know he's played a couple of times, where he was saying to me, like, I think you can maybe play pretty well out there because it's, you know, the rough is really difficult, the greens are really difficult, but there's no water, there's no real hazards like that, so you can kind of play it wherever. And I thought it was real, as hard as Oakmont is and the reputation that it has, it certainly it has earned that. But it is kind of fun where you can kind of hit it wherever, and you are going to lose your golf ball in the rough that they're growing up for the US Open. But if you find it, you can, like, I didn't lose a ball all day. And that's pretty incredible for a golf course like that. So I thought Oakmont was wonderful. It's a great, great golf course. And I really enjoyed the whole day out there, quite honestly. It was really fun.
What an interesting property, isn't it? How like from the clubhouse all the way to the farthest hole, which is maybe like the third hole, you can see everything. It's just like kind of you're in this elevated clubhouse, and then you're looking downhill most of the way, all the way till it goes back up on the other side, and you can see pretty much all of the holes. Pennsylvania Turnpike cuts right through the entire property, but you don't really notice it until you're like crossing it. And then the whole property, like you're saying, Trent, for a really hard course, which I think that is the hardest golf course I ever played. That's no trick. No, it is wide open. Like you could pretty much hit it anywhere. And if we didn't have our whole crew, we would have lost a bunch of balls just because the rough. Dude, Frankie, you would have 10 people, like with all the caddies, with our camera crew, we would have 10 people walking around within a 20-foot area and couldn't find a golf ball for 2 minutes.
It's insane. I saw the videos of people like those. I saw Beef getting into the mix of rough Twitter and Instagram posts. Yeah,
I know,
throwing balls, and I couldn't believe how thick that was,
dude. And they said they're going to grow it another inch.
Insanity, dude. The first time, so the first hole we played, I kind of got a decent break. Ball was embedded, so I got to like drop it, and I had a decent lie, so I hit a 5-wood out of the rough. Next hole, I tried to hit a 9-iron out of the rough to just lay up. I wasn't trying to advance it really anywhere, and my 9-iron went like 4 feet in the rough, and I was like, all right, this is gonna be a day. And the fairways are this narrow, and we're playing it from 7,500 yards, so it's like you have to hit a fantastic drive to even reach the fairway, and then it has to be the straightest drive of all time to stay in the fairway. And if it doesn't, you're like 230 yards out in rough that I couldn't advance a 9-iron out of.
Dude, it was so funny. I would hear, because we'd all be all over the place, but I would hear someone's impact from out of the rough, and it would be Riggs or Francis, and I would look back, and their follow through looks like they got shot. They were in a spot where like I thought they pulled every ligament, and they were just going to be injured for the rest of the day. So yeah, I mean it's Oakmont, and it's that rough is really thick, and it's crazy to think that they're going to grow it even more. The place is pure, and it was awesome. I thought.
I think the craziest thing about that place, I've never played it, just from seeing it, is like you have all that, and then also the greens are the craziest things you've ever seen.
So hard.
Greens are so hard, and we got a little bit lucky on that front. They had rain like 2 days straight. It actually, what kind of made the rough a little harder than I think it even usually is for member play. But the greens were like relatively slow for them. They were still running at like an 11 or 12 or whatever the hell they were. They were like slowish. That they were kind of manageable. Yet still, we all had several 3-putts. I mean, several.
Well,
there.
And I also think they knew. Well, they obviously knew that it was going to be a bunch of creators out there filming videos. The hardest pin placements. The absolute hardest.
It was ridiculous. There were some pins we thought they weren't on the green.
Yeah.
When you were hitting you're hitting these approach shots and hitting like your fourth shot on a par 4 after taking multiple layups. And you've got this like mid iron in, and the pin looks like it was put into the bunker or something. You're like, how the hell am I going to get to that pin?
If we're going to have a bunch of content creators out here, we're going to make it hurt. And they did.
It was awesome. It was such a, like, it might have ruined my golf confidence for the next month. I'd been building up pretty good there, but it was awesome. It was fun to do it. Some of these guys, and everybody had big moments, right? Like everybody had some huge pars and like birdie chances on really tough holes, which made it worth it. So it was awesome. It was awesome. And the video is going to be great. Exactly what you want to see, just kicking us in the teeth. And it sounds like most people out there were filming something similar because everybody was whispering around like what everybody was at. There were some really good players that everybody knows that are really good, that people were like, "Did you hear so-and-so is like 10 over already?" Like there was all that whispering around the property. And then that place, the architecture of the clubhouse, Trent kind of mentioned the clubhouse is so cool, but like the architecture of the clubhouse combined with the little bunkhouses that they have are like this light green, with white, that just look awesome. And then they had some like couple old school brick like houses or cottages that it looks like maybe the head pro would live in, that now maybe are like you could stay if you're a national guest or whatever. So the whole property, you're kind of looking around like, ooh, what's that? What's that? All the little huts that they have are that green and white as well. So the whole place is just so cool. The pro shop, I know, but pretty much our whole crew went into the pro shop. They got everything in there. They've got the old school squirrel logo, and then they've got an alternate, just like the OCC logo. So they've got 2 elite logos, and that pro shop, oh boy, that's like a Todd Martin like fucking fantasy factory in there, what they've got going on in that pro shop.
I got a pencil. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
All day I was asking the caddies. I was like,
pencil.
I need a pencil. And then there was like the first tee where normally you would open the box and there's pencils. They cleared that thing out. There were just some scorecards in there. So I was on the hunt. And afterwards I went into the pro shop and I was like, I know there's a lot of beautiful things in here that cost money, but do you happen to have a pencil that I can have for free? And they're like, you got it. And then I ended up buying
OCC, or does it say Oakmont on it?
It says the OCC on it.
Okay.
It's got the OCC logo on it. And then I ended up buying a couple things.
But it's a small one, right? Isn't it like a little clean one? I think it is.
Yeah, I've got it in my bag.
It's not like the because some of them they do a really big logo where you can't really see. Yeah. But I want to say this one's like clean.
I could grab it out of my bag, but I wanted that. That was all day.
Speaking of which, I got in front of me, Sam Watson from Big Cedar Lodge messaged me and said, "We heard your guys' podcast about pencils and how each one said Big Cedar on it. So they've gotten new pencils that this says Top of the Rock.
No way.
Come on.
This says Ozark National.
Yes.
This says,
yeah.
Look how good the Paynes Valley one is. This is all because of our podcast," they said. Paynes Vallly with the
That's awesome.
there.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
And then
Buffalo?
the last one would be Buffalo Ridge.
Ooh, I bet that's a good one. I love.
Welcome, by the way, welcome to the nerdy part of the podcast, everybody.
Mountaintop, but whatever. And Buffalo Ridge is in there. But yeah,
cool.
I got I got them for you guys too. Next time I see you, I got a bunch of pencils.
What did Matt Barzell say to you?
Yeah,
pencils. What did Barzell say?
Little hobby or something?
Oh, you collect pencils? Sick hobby.
Well, dude, this is something, and now that we're on the pencil topic, that we never talked about. Do you remember when we were at Torrey Pines?
Yeah, they didn't have pencils.
Torrey Pines doesn't do. They have pencils, but they don't.
Yeah,
it doesn't say Torrey Pines on it. It's just a blank pencil, which is a huge miss for Torrey Pines. And if we have the sway, which it certainly seems that way with Big Cedar, Torrey Pines, you got to start putting Torrey Pines on the pencils.
They started to hear what we were saying. Hear what I was saying. That made me think of the Terry Collins clip when he comes out and says, "All right," and the guy goes, "Our ass is in the jackpot now. You got to listen to me and hear what I'm saying."
I'm gonna watch that clip later. Actually,
that is the best clip in sports history, I think.
I think
now, hold on, you get him. When he runs from Syndergaard to Terry Collins, and then the camera pans, and Terry Collins is mid arguing with the home plate umpire, and all you hear is "cocksucker."
Is there any way? And because it's audio, it's still pretty good. It's a better visual, but can we play that? If
I used to play this every day on Barstool Radio. Brendan Jones would have to figure out a way to do Terry Collins gets ejected. Terry Collins ass in the jackpot video on YouTube.
Oh, dude.
I think this needs to be played for everyone on their Thursday afternoon. And while Brendan gets that, I think Torrey Pines started to hear what we were saying a little bit. And they're like, I know, it's actually one of our most requested things. Here we go. It's 2 minutes long.
Let's get to the whole 2 minutes. We're going to listen to the whole 2 minutes.
Oh, you gotta start like right when he says to Syndergaard, he says ass in the jackpot at that point. You guys have to also realize their mic blows out at the best part. That's how mad these guys are getting. So you'll hear the mic change. I think right here, Brendan's perfect. I think right there's perfect.
We got a minute and 15 seconds.
But there was no prior knowledge that before the game started. I mean, if Terry comes into the dugout and says, "Hey, if somebody gets hit,"
so Syndergaard threw at a guy and they're kicking him out. And Terry Collins, the head coach of the Mets, is now going all in. Here we go. Raise this up.
Take him. Terry. Get a handle. Come on, let's go.
Get a handle.
Come on. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Tell me that fucking bullshit you doing.
Then you talk to me.
I know what you do. Okay. You gotta give us a shot.
You know what?
You gotta give us a shot.
Okay, listen to me. Let me hear what I'm saying, okay? You get your shot. You had your shot right there in the situation.
Well, why
you
not?
know the situation, Terry.
Why don't we get a shot?
Because that makes it worse. Terry, that makes it fucking worse.
I know it. But MLB did nothing to that guy. Nothing.
Okay, that I can't control that, Terry. I can't control that. You know as well as I do Terry, you know where I stand on the whole fucking situation. But that's
you're better than that, Tommy. You know that.
Terry, listen, I'm telling you, our ass is in the jackpot now. Okay? I'm just telling you.
Fucking motherfucker.
That's you got it. Okay, get it. You got everything out.
And you got everything out already, motherfucker. These boys, that ass in the jackpot was such a conversation ender. It's one of the best, man.
Those boys are talking about baseball. That's a baseball call.
And talk to me. Nothing. In the whole situation, you got to know it meant nothing. You know,
that was weird. When did that happen? Because I felt like that clip came out like years later or something. But it's one of the great clips.
Remember that became the Barstool thing for 2 months. You're asking the jackpot now.
I just played the whole clip every day.
Oh,
worth it.
You gotta give us a shot.
Talk to me. No, I don't know how we got on that at all. I have no clue. But we were talking about
because I said you got to listen. I think they're hearing what I'm saying.
That's right.
Which kind of got me onto that, and it's just one of the best clips of all time. Terry Collins, what a manager! I'm not a Mets fan, but like after watching that, you almost want that guy back. Just like, what a manager!
He was great.
Going to war.
God, so good.
Shout out to the CJ Cup, Byron Nelson, with some ratings this last weekend. So Scotty Scheffler, I think he had what do you have, 7, 6, 8 shot lead going to the final round, ends up winning by 8. Eric Van Rooyen, who we're going to talk about some of his comments about the elevated events and whatnot, but, pushed him as good as he could. But it was over. It was over like Friday when Scotty went, 61, 63 to get to 18 under par. It was over. There's about as little drama as you can imagine. And we sit here and we talk about all the different recipes that you're going to need for a golf tournament to transcend, to do good numbers, all that. The American Express earlier, hate to keep shitting on them. I'm a proud American Express credit card user. American Airlines won, so I get a bunch of miles. It's great. But that had like 200,000 people watched it or something like that. And at that point, I remember we kind of were having a little bit of a conversation being like, wow, that's a tough spot. Golf, it's fractured, the whole thing. We've come roaring back since with rating after rating have been very good. We had Rory's obviously won 3 huge events. We had Justin Thomas reemerged and got the win at the RBC. And then you go into this and you're thinking it's a pretty opposite field event to the point where Scotty Scheffler is almost even money to win the damn thing. He wins by $1 million. Dude, the CJ Cup, Byron Nelson had a television rating of 2.91 million viewers on Sunday, May 2nd on CBS. This surpassed the Miami Grand Prix in Formula One, which had 2.2 million viewers on ABC, and the NASCAR race, the Worth, WURTH, I'm not sure, Worth 400 on FS1, which had 2.56 million viewers. The final round of Scotty's tournament had 2.91 million viewers and delivered great ratings yet again. So we continue to keep the ball rolling here.
All right, so this is the first time that I'm surprised. All these other tournaments where Rory wins or JT wins or Aubert wins at Torrey Pines Tigers tournament, like you go into that or you come out of it being like, all right, that's a good ratings week for golf. We're going to see those numbers and be happy. I think if you had asked me before you gave the numbers, like, do you think the numbers were up or down at the CJ Cup this week? I would have said down because, you know, Scotty had this thing won on Friday and it was kind of over, and you think people are going to be watching other things. Baseball's back, NBA playoffs are going on, NHL playoffs are going on. People are doing other things. Summer's coming around, the weather's nice. So to see this as a big number, I think it's the most encouraging sign of golf is kind of back in terms of people watching it on TV. And it does go to show that we're on a line of, we've talked a lot about having big winners win these tournaments or big names win these tournaments is a big deal with Rory and JT and Aubert. And now Scotty's back. Like he hadn't won in a while. We're like, oh my God, is Scotty ever going to win again? And boom, here he wins one. So I'm nothing but encouraged and surprised by these big numbers of the tournament.
I think Scotty too was so dominant that it got into all the group chats. It got into a lot of the conversation throughout the weekend. There were so many social posts and Instagram posts of just Scotty torching the golf course that you had to kind of tune in and just see what it was about. So I think it was a little bit of like lightning in a bottle, where it's like if it was a historical round of golf that he was playing. You know, he was, what was he, 14 under on the par fives or something like that. The guy was playing like golf in another dimension. So it's like that was worth changing the channel to the Byron Nelson just to see Scotty torch a golf course to go to 31 under. But yeah, man, I mean, anytime any of these big names are in, it seems like it's just bringing in the viewers, you know? Like, it's as long as we have these guys, these big names performing, which is what we said in the beginning of the year, you're going to bring in and you're going to pull in numbers. So I'm sure that this is very uplifting for the PGA Tour. And I'm sure that they're very excited in the fact that all these negotiations with LIV are going on and it's still kind of stalling and everything's going to like the Supreme Court or whatever it is. And they're like not figuring out this deal. And as that's all happening, PGA Tour is just kind of moving up, you know, that they're just playing well. Big events, big names are all doing good. You know, Rory's winning the Players, and then you got Scotty shooting 31 under at like a non-elevated event. Every week it seems like something big is happening on the PGA Tour, which is great.
No, it is. And I think we have a little bit, I think we have an appetite for big name players blowing people out. Like on Sunday, I was much more inclined to turn it on. I actually went out of my way to turn it on and be like, I got to see this, whether maybe it's historic, right? Like you could sense it. I think, Frankie, you said it, that it felt historic. It was getting outside the group chat that like, this guy's winning by how many? And he's the best player in the world. I got to watch this shit. And I went back and looked. These are different because it's Tiger Woods and how historic it was. But like the 97 Masters had an insane TV rating. And at the time, Tiger Woods Mania was Tiger Woods Mania, of course. But it's a blowout. It's the Masters tournament. He was leading by 9, I believe, going to the final round. Ends up winning by 12, which is historic. But that translated. So the 97 Masters had a strong television ratings, with the final round on Sunday reaching a national rating of 14.1. That translated to an estimated 43 million viewers. When you go to Tiger's 2000 U.S. Open, he won by 15. Said NBC's coverage of the final 2 rounds drew an average overnight rating of 7.5 with an 18 million average share, according to numbers released Monday by Nielsen. It was the highest 2-day average for the U.S. Open since overnights were instituted in 1975. So Tiger Woods is obviously a different case. I would love to pull up, and I should, like the Rory when he won by like 8 a couple different times in the early 2010s. But I do think there's like, it kind of does it to me. There's this appeal of like, wait, this great player who's the best player right now, number 1 ranked player, is winning by how many? Like he's just doing the thing. I kind of got to tune in and see that. So I didn't expect the ratings to be high at all. I was blown away. I think that's great. It's great for the game of golf. Got a lot of momentum. We've talked since COVID how much momentum golf has had on the recreational front, on the YouTube type front, creators, all that. To see it like really translating with the PGA Tour right now is fucking awesome. I mean, it's just great.
Yeah, so we're saying that if Scotty and Van Ruin were going back and forth and they were within like 2 shots of each other on Sunday, that this gets a lower number. And I think I agree with that.
I do too. As crazy as that sounds.
Yeah, because then you're just comparing the Byron Nelson to a regular golf tournament that like a Scotty Scheffler would go and win, because it's just like it's a normal one, right? Like they're kind of edging it out, going to the finals. I think that shows up lower than most tournaments because it's just the Byron Nelson as opposed to the Players or the Waste Management, whatever. It'll just show up lower, and all of a sudden you throw in something more historic or just like, what is that? You know, that question, like, what is he shooting? Like that little moment right there makes more people tune in, I think.
Well, yeah, you could. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but you could probably look at the numbers. I mean, Scotty won what 9 times last year. A lot of them were close, and I'm sure that those numbers were lower than what the CJ Cup got for the very reason that we're talking about.
We are joining forces, everyone, with the PGA of America and with T-Mobile for a major championship level competition live at Quail Hollow and the 2025 PGA Championship. It is Trent, Barstool Beef, and myself, Riggs, and Jersey Jerry taking on the T5G range. We're going to do 3 games, shot clock, guess that number, and watch this. You'll need to tune in to learn how crazy it's all going to get. Join us live on the PGA Championships YouTube page on Wednesday night, May 14th. We will also have live connections with T-Mobile ambassadors Wyndham Clark and Max Homa. We're going to be back at the Quail Hollow PGA Championship driving range.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this. Shout out to T-Mobile. They're going to have us out there. We're going to play some games. It'll be interesting. I can't wait to see Jerry out there, Beef out there, myself, and Riggs. And yeah, tune into that. We're going to play some games. We're going to have some fun, and all because of T-Mobile.
We will have live look-ins at the Quail Hollow driving range where the stars truly align on the driving range of a major championship, and we have the opportunity to tap into player preparation on the driving range. Follow the PGA Championship across social at PGA Championship and on youtube.com for the live stream. Again, that is Wednesday, May 14th. Check it out on the PGA Championship's YouTube and on their socials at PGA Championship. It's hard getting gifts, man. It's very difficult, especially for your parents, especially for your mother. If you're ready to win Mother's Day and cement your reputation as the best gift giver in the family, then give the moms in your life an Aura digital picture frame preloaded with decades of family photos. These things are incredible. You can always upload it. You can always put more photos in there. So the frame, it's sitting there. It's set. It's locked in. You know, it's not locked in or all the different photos that could come out of that frame. You can change them. You can upload them. You can showcase the newest thing in your life, newest cool family photo you got, whatever. Aura frames is going to be the answer.
Yeah, the feature Frankie was talking about where, you know, you give the frame to your mom or your dad, your grandpa, your grandma, whoever, and then you can continue to upload photos while it's at their house. So you can just put new photos in there that they're not going to be aware of, and then they see them and they're like, wow, they updated this thing with new photos. You can constantly be updating new photos. Frankie's going to have, I'm sure, a bunch of new photos to put in his coming up. Big life event happening for him. But it is hard to get people gifts, and this gift is really, it's just something that someone's actually going to love and they're going to use.
Aura Frames was named the best digital photo frame by Wirecutter. It's easy to see why. There's unlimited storage, so you can add as many photos, videos, and funny memes as you can find, and it is so simple to set up. You just plug it in and boom, share away. You're good to go. Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. For a limited time, listeners could save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver mat frame. That is AURA frames.com. Promo code FOREPLAY, auraframes.com, promo code FOREPLAY. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Once again, $35 off the Carver mat at auraframes.com, promo code FOREPLAY.
Also, we referenced it before, but that Grant video with Scotty is outrageous.
Yeah,
I watched
I
watched it last night. It's fucking outrageous.
What do you mean?
It's like Grant, like sticks with him for like I mean, I don't want to give too much
Oh
away.
yeah, you don't want to spoil it.
I mean, it's been out for like whatever.
Probably already got 5 million.
Grant
views.
plays fucking unbelievable golf against the best player in the world at his home course. Like,
Wow.
I don't know. It's one of the crazier things I've ever seen in my life, to be honest. Like, Scotty's such an outrageous golf figure in my mind that, like, playing him in a match and getting 5 pops. Like, I gave 5 pops to Matt Martin the other day at Colonial Springs. And he's
Right. Same
not
thing.
a good golfer. And he beat my ass. So I had to say that. But like, you know what I'm saying? It's not that many pops.
No, it's not that many at all. For Scotty Scheffler,
That's 0 pops. I could lose
best
that
ball,
many on him.
best
in
ball
one
striker of this
hole.
generation, the only guy who gets mentioned in the same breath of Tiger Woods, and it makes a little bit of sense. It doesn't make total sense, but people can see it. And you get 5 pops off that guy. I would need 500.
Like, I don't know the exact numbers. I don't want to give away too much, but like, you skip to like hole 12 and it says like Grant Horvat 2 under and he started 5 under. So you're like, this fucking guy is like, what, 3 over through 12 holes, 13 holes. And he's just fucking fighting out there against Scotty Scheffler. That, like, dude, mine would say Frankie Borelli plus 41 at that point. I would puke all over myself against Scotty Scheffler. And I know we're just saying that he's just a better golfer than us, but I mean, Grant, but I just thought, and he interviewed the shit out of him, talked about him getting arrested and Jesus and all these things. Like, they really just, he asked him about if he should play in the PGA Tour event. I mean, like, it was a legit great video.
When did they film it? Do you know? Does it say? Like, when did they film it? Like, I would be curious, like, was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
I feel like it was probably during that like 2-week stretch that Scotty didn't play.
Yeah. No, that's I have to watch it. I'm gonna watch it. I just haven't had a chance to. We've been.
Do you think we need a Jesus guy on our squad?
It's an interesting question.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's
I'm
a
Catholic,
real
but I don't like go to
connection
church every week.
Yeah.
You know, should we just make Beef like a hardcore, like,
nice.
church going, God fearing
not hurt.
man? I just feel like this connection that they have, like, dude, when you see the Sunday sermons that
2.1
Ted
million views
Scott
in a day.
does, woo,
Yeah. No,
the
it's
Jesus thing might be worth it. That's
Grant
a lot
hasn't
of views.
put out a video that's been less than like 1.5 million in like a year.
Well, that dude's on fire. He's on fire.
He is
it's
on
fun
fire
to watch.
I know, he's crushing it, dude. It's
Shout out
also
Taylor
like,
made for making that happen too. That's a hell of a video.
Yeah.
That is a hell of a video. But yeah, no, I it'd be nice to get maybe like our next hire is like a priest or something.
yeah,
Okay.
I think that could help us. God,
All
it
right.
can't. I mean,
Speaking
it
of
can't
priests,
hurt
I think
that.
today the conclave
God.
starts.
No way.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, today the 7th.
Have you
Okay.
watched the movie?
I watched the movie.
I gotta watch
What'd you
it.
think?
I thought it's one of the most preposterous endings in movie history.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either, but I have heard that the ending is insane.
My dad called me and goes, "What the fuck?" It was.
All right.
It's a great movie though, in the sense that there's just crazy drama, you know, like in the Sistine Chapel, and you're like, "Oh shit, it's pretty cool." It's a cool setting.
Yeah, I have like some of the photos that I've seen that have come out, that there's not many, but of them meeting in the Sistine Chapel is the coolest
Insane.
thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
That they just sit
And
in there.
there's so much drama that happens. Like, these are priests, these are men of God, and they all want to like win. So like there's
Right.
backstabbing and there's blackmailing, and like, you know, you would never think of this, right? Like
It's
that's
a
what happened.
ridiculous concept. It's like, to be the most holy man who's basically connected to God, you got to like politic and like dominate.
There's
people.
one
Like,
part
it's
of
a
the movie,
Surviving
it doesn't really
Barstool
give away too much,
episode.
but one guy's like, "I don't want it," and the guy's like fuck off. We all want to wear that hat. Like
Wow.
tell me you don't live every day wanting to know like you don't have your Pope name picked out. Like, you piece of shit. Like, don't give me that shit.
Yeah.
Don't act like you're some like better than me kind of person. We all want
Holier
this.
than thou.
Yeah, like we all want this. And the
Ooh.
guy's like, "I don't want
Right.
it." He's like, "You fucking want it."
Well, that's the thing. I guess that's probably the takeaway from the movies, I would guess. Like, even at the highest of highs of like trying to become a holy man, it's all about power. It's just about
all about power.
yeah.
Yep.
All right, I
And
gotta
how
watch
will
that.
you get to the top? It's a good
Yep.
movie.
I gotta
I'm gonna have
watch
to
it.
watch that one too. I'm gonna watch that one.
You mentioned, you know, I feel like I always bring this up, but I do want to hear you talk about it. You mentioned Matt Martin, but Isles got the pick. They won the draft.
Oh.
Is that what happened?
God.
I always send this thing because I am always very interested because the Isles posted Frankie. I saw that and my jaw dropped. But
That's great.
Yeah. I mean, we went out to dinner. We've been doing this. We're still waiting on this baby. Actually, I mean, we can get to that in a little bit.
Yeah,
but-
baby update.
I was at my in-laws house. So Dom, this is a Rangers house, right? So we turned on the draft, and the way that they did the draft this year was different. A lot of people are saying it's rigged, which I'm not going to get into that. I'm not getting into the semantics of it because the Islanders had an all-star game for this year, and they got it pulled the day before the draft because they're not doing an all-star game anymore. So all the season ticket holders, everyone that was so excited for this, no all-star game.
Oh, are they doing Four Nations every year?
Well, basically, they don't want to. It's an Olympics year. So they're like, why are we going to have an all-star game and then the next day send all these guys to the Olympics? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, Four Nations proved something. So why don't we take like off years? I still think they should announce all-stars. Like we've talked about that. That's an accolade that you should be able to accomplish.
100%. 100%.
It's about resumes. It's about legacy.
Resumes. So you still should be able to vote for like all-stars. It just doesn't have to be a game. Whatever. So they pulled it and like Islanders freaking missed the playoffs. They don't have Lou. No one knows what's going on. They traded Brock Nelson. All of a sudden, they lose the All-Star game. Season ticket holders are like, what the fuck am I going to go to Belmont for anymore? Like, this is crazy. Like, it's dark times on the island. Next day, first-round pick. Like, everyone, like now, instead of an All-Star game, it's a draft party. So I'm going to get that out of the way. You can think about that however you want to think about it. But the way that they actually showed it was really cool on ESPN. So John Buccigross talks through the whole entire process. He's like, we're doing something totally new this year. We're broadcasting. So there's a combination of numbers, and every team has a certain amount of combinations. There's 1,000 combinations of numbers. It goes from 1 to 13 each ball. Okay. So the Islanders had a 3% chance. So they had 3% of the combinations out of the possible 1,000.
Gotcha.
Okay. So usually in the history, they would have shown, they wouldn't have done that ball thing live. They would have done it in a room that is secured, and all the GMs would have been able to see a live feed of it. But they would have basically just said, like, with the first pick, with the 10th pick, and they would have unveiled the names, and then you would have gotten down to first. But this time they did a drawing for the first pick. Okay, so the first 4 balls that came out were whatever combination it was. And the way that they did it was they showed you what your percentage was after each ball.
Oh, interesting.
So that's why I filmed myself. Everyone's like, this is fake. You could see the numbers go up each time a ball came out. So it was like 7, and the Islanders went from 3 to 4%. And then it was like 9 or whatever. And the Islanders went from 9 to 12%. And then the Rangers went down to nothing because the Rangers and the Islanders were like moving from the Islanders were 10th. Okay.
Yeah.
So then the next one came out, right? And the Islanders shot up to 18.5%. And they were now, and John Buccigross goes, the New York Islanders now hold the best chance to win the number 1 overall pick along with, and he named 4 other teams. It was like the Penguins, the Flyers, and somebody else.
What an electric way to do this.
So then they went to commercial, which everyone thinks was, so they showed everything live, right? So much so that one guy had to put his back to the balls and go pull so that he couldn't see where he would pull it to, like, maybe he would see where a ball was close to the thing. So they do all this live, and then they go to commercial for a second to like really a 2-minute commercial, but they have it picture in picture. The balls, it's like a live looking in golf, like playing through. They have the balls just in the bottom left corner, just going crazy. And they're showing like Chevy ads and, Shady Rays and all these things. It's nuts. So I have my phone out because I'm like, so they tell you the New York Islanders need either the 5 ball or the 13 ball. The Penguins need either the 6 ball or the 4 ball. And you're like, holy fucking shit. So I'm filming myself and I'm like, 5 or 13, 5 or 13. And the fucking ball comes up and it's 13. I lost my goddamn mind. The Islanders went from 3% to 100%. Dude,
unreal.
What's that number? So they had 30 lines of combinations out of 1,000. 3%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 3.5%, weren't they?
So they had 35 lines of combinations out of 1,000, and that was one of their lines. So, I mean, outrageous to jump 9 spots, 10 spots, whatever that is, to the number 1 overall pick. Now, they're saying this is a down year in the draft. There's not a Connor McDavid. There's not an Austin Matthews. There's not, a Patrick Kane. Like there's not a Jack Hughes. But there's always down years in drafts. There's always these like Cale Makar year was a down year in a draft. Like there was no like clear cut number one. There's like Heiskanen, like that whole, like no one knew who was going to be the number one pick. Like this year there's Schaefer, who's a D man, who everyone wants the Islanders to take. And then there's this guy Misa, who's a really good goal scorer. But the third overall pick is a Long Island guy from Hauppauge, Long Island, who grew up a season ticket holder Islander fan. They still live on the island. He goes to, I think, BC, so he plays with, is it Boston University or BC? I think it's BC.
Which guy?
BC.
BC, yeah.
James Higgins.
Because he plays with Yzerman. And he's like, I want to be an Islander. I grew up wanting, he's not the clear-cut guy, though. So I think fans now are freaking out. Like, do you take the guy who wants to be here forever? He said, I'll never leave this place. This is my home. I grew up an Islanders fan. I still watch him to this day. To be drafted by them would be incredible. And he's a great player. Like James Higgins, like great player. But these other guys are like, you may be picking a Makar, or you know what I mean? Like this defenseman is legit.
And this
Schaefer's
is the
legit.
first big decision that this new GM has to make.
There's no GM right now. So yeah, it's unbelievable. Ooh. So that's my Islander take. We'll see. If you're asking me, I think you take the best player on the board. I don't think you let like your heart get into it. I don't think that you can ever, like, if the best player ends up being a bust, you really can't knock yourself for that.
Yeah.
If it's a consensus best player in the draft, you pick them.
Yeah. To me, from outside looking in, it feels from what I know about the Islanders, would be very Islanders to me if they didn't take the best player and he ended up not being that great. And then you're like, the other guy blossoms somewhere else.
Yeah, I know. I could sleep better at night. No, like if Higgins ends up being the best player in the NHL history and grew up an Islander fan and he's on another team, I'll still be pissed. But like, I won't be mad that we picked the best all consensus player on the draft. Like the Islanders need a puck moving defenseman more than anything. I think people that know hockey a little bit more than like the average viewer realize that defensemen's actually help the offense too. Like on power plays, they are the ones that are quarterbacking this whole entire process. They're getting the pucks, they're moving it. Right now, the Islanders don't have those puck moving defensemen. They don't have guys that can go laterally. They have no quick, shifty defenseman right now. So like getting a guy like that who's NHL ready to pop right in. Like, come on, dude. This gets everyone going. Barzy's on the half wall. He passes it back to a guy like Schaefer. It changes everything. It's dynamic. You look at a guy like Quinn Hughes and Cale Makar and all these guys. They're able to move the puck and they get these offenses going. Look at I don't want to bring up, but like the Winnipeg Jets, like that play is because of two defensemen. Like these guys are keeping the puck in, they're firing the puck towards the net. Like this is what they do. Not to say we don't have great defensemen, because we don't, but like we got to get going. We got to get this thing going. So I think we need like a guy, like a cornerstone D man, whatever. That's my island.
To talk about how big of a deal it is, I believe the Blues in their entire history have had the number one pick once ever.
Yeah.
It's huge. So it's deal. Like it's a huge fucking
trade the pick. Like if there's not a surefire number one and you want to get the number 3 guy Higgins, you could trade the number 3 pick and the number 1 pick, and you also get like another pick with the number 3. You get your Long Island guy.
Yeah.
You get another pick maybe next year. Like you could pull a draft day on their ass.
Yeah.
Great movie, by the way.
That was great. I've never seen it, but I've heard people do not like that movie.
Well, it's like a corny ass movie, but it's actually really good.
Got it. No, I really enjoyed seeing you in the Isles montage. You started the Isles
video. At the end of that video, I like the real video because I only put like 11 seconds up. You could actually hear Don go, "You fucking kidding me?" It's so good.
Yeah, that was cool. That was very cool.
That is cool. All right, a little more golf stuff. We had so Eric Van Rooyen, who again finished second to Scotty. He was asked because it got him into, he was in the the 8 out of top 5 where, it's the hottest guys get into the elevated events. He was asked about how he feels, getting into this week's Truist Championship at Philly Cricket Club. He goes, "How honest do you want me to be?" He goes, "I hate it. I strongly believe that the strongest fields are the ones with the most players in them. The guys of the PGA Tour are so good. It's so deep. I get that you've got the Scotties of the world, the Rorys of the world. People want to see them. It's entertaining, like the PGA Championship coming up, for example. I think that's the strongest field in the game. similar to the players. So essentially his reaction was he just doesn't like the smaller fields in general. He never has. He had said last year, he finished out there, he said, I love competing. So selfishly, I want to compete against those guys. Again, I'm really proud to be playing my way into it. So, he's doing a little damage control there, I think. But last year, he had been asked about it. This was last March. And he had said, I think this idea that we're worth what premier soccer players are worth is completely mind-blowing. He said, I'm sorry, John Rahm, you're a fantastic player, but you're not worth the zeros that they gave you. You're not worth more than what Cristiano Ronaldo was making. He goes, I'm sorry, we don't have the following. We're not the NBA. We're not the NFL. I get there a handful of really famous and really good golfers. How many of them have won tournaments so far this year? Again, this was last March that he was saying that. So EVR has been quite the vocal when it comes to this topic, which I appreciate. In golf, I think a lot of times we get a little bit, we just get a lot of cookie cutter, same answers. A lot of people kind of dogged Wyndham Clark a little bit, where he had the comments from maybe 2 years ago being like, we should have smaller fields, when people were like, a year ago, you would never won anywhere and you wouldn't have been into any of these fields. So how are you not thinking about kind of the littler guy when it comes down to the tour? I'm not saying I'm 100% in agreement with Van Rooyen or 100% in agreement with the other side of it, with the Rory and all the smaller fields. I just like that people are honest about it, and he's not just like, yep, perfect, the whole system's perfect. I'm so happy to be here, because he's making money now. He was asked right after finishing second, having a great week, getting into the Truist, how he felt. He could have easily just been like, I feel great. And for him to still kind of stick to his guns a little bit, I thought earned a little bit of respect in my mind.
Yeah, it's nice to hear just an interesting opinion on the PGA Tour. And it's a different conversation, the stuff he's talking about with Rahm and everybody getting all that money. Like, I mean, we've said on this show that, like, the bottom line for all this stuff, and now that the ratings are through the roof, I don't know if I still have this opinion, but it's like golf isn't popular enough where you can divide the talent and guys making whatever 300, 400 million. Like, what Liv did with that is just throw off the ecosystem, where the values of these guys was just so inflated because they wanted them to jump over to their league. Like, a guy's getting hundreds of millions of dollars does not reflect the game of golf and how popular it is. So on that conversation front, I agree with him on that. Now this whole thing about larger and smaller fields, I'd have to think about it a little bit more, but it's nice to hear a guy actually have a strong opinion, as opposed to just, I'm very happy that I'm in, and it's like everything's roses and rainbows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure the conversation amongst the players is nonstop.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see someone actually come out and say it how it is, how they're feeling. You can take it however you want, but you just know that there's guys who are motherfuckering it in the background, and other guys that the debates have to be endless, right?
Totally.
Right, because they're the ones the most affected by it. It's their sport. Like,
we're just a viewer. It's like
we're just a viewer. We just happen to have a podcast and have opinions about it. But these are the guys who are in it, and it directly affects their lives.
Big time. It directly affects them, to the point, getting into tournaments, not getting into tournaments. It went from, look at smaller fields, and now smaller, basically crop of players in total. It went from the top 125 keeping their tour card to the top 100. It went from the top 30 getting their tour card from Korn Ferry Tour to the top 20. And now in events like this, it's 70 players or whatever, instead of what would be, 144, 156. And now they've got, the opposite field event. So it's just quite different. But I enjoyed him kind of saying what was on his mind. It's nice to hear. Speaking of opposite field event, we've got the Myrtle Beach Classic this weekend. Our good friend Alistair Doherty, who finished tied for second last year and made $356,000 in his one tour start. He ended up getting another one because of that. Missed the cut of the Canadian Open, but finished second at the Myrtle Beach. He got another sponsor's exemption into that event this week. So last week, I know he took off, didn't play. He was gearing up. And this week, our guy is back on the PGA Tour playing in the Myrtle Beach Classic. So again, he finished second, same golf course, same deal. I know he's got a lot of confidence here, but a huge week for our dog out there.
So just to set the table, you win, you're in. That's how this works?
Simple.
That's why last year was so devastating. And a line of devastating things that have happened with our guy Alistair. That was right up there with it. You win a PGA Tour event, bang. You skip the line, rightfully so, and you're in. Let's do that.
Just win.
I know that's a tall task, and it's hard. Golf's really hard.
Show up and win, man.
In addition to the $720,000 payout, Myrtle Beach winner will be rewarded 300 FedEx Cup points and a 2-year PGA Tour card.
Let's go.
Come on. Who
What's
won
the
last year?
It was our boy from Rumsen, Lurch's guy,
Oh, Goddard.
Goddard.
Chris Goddard. Mm-hmm.
How's he doing this year? Because we talked to him a lot at our Corn Ferry event, and I've seen him at different events, and he always gives us like a what up, and I always meant to like check in on how he's been doing.
You know, it looks like he's doing. I'm seeing a lot of missed cuts so far this year, but he's been in everything. He was at the
all right, TPC Craig at the Byron Nelson. He was T15.
15.
Okay.
Coming off a T18 at the Punta Cana the week before, missed cut, and then at Texas Children's he was T18. So he's got 3 top 18s in the last 4 starts. So we got a little momentum going here.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, I like it. He's a nice guy.
He is. Let's see. Was he in the Players Championship? No. But, dude, he played, he was at Phoenix Open. He's at the Farmers. He's getting his feet wet out there on the tour. He was at the Players Championship. He missed the cut.
When we were out at Torrey playing the Pro-Am, on one of the holes, I sliced my drive so badly into the other fairway that I was right next to his ball. He was playing the opposite hole. And I was like, hey, what's up? And he was like, nice shot. And I was like, I know. It's hard. It's a hard sport.
Nice shot.
He was nice about it, but I was like, I know I'm not supposed to be over here. He's like, it's fine. But he's a really nice guy. I'm always rooting for him.
That's awesome. So yeah, Myrtle Beach Classic. Let's go, Alistair, a little Barstool Golf representative on the apparel, which we love. Shout out to Billy Horschel. Love Billy Horschel. Thoughts are with Billy Horschel going through an injury, surgery. He's posted after consulting with doctors and my team. We are going to have right hip surgery early next week out in Colorado. It's an unfortunate situation with so many great events left in the calendar, but this is a preventative measure. I'm already looking forward to getting the rehab started, getting back to practicing, and hopefully returning to the golf course in late summer or early fall. Could not have been an easy decision. I feel like Billy's been playing pretty well. Remember when he took down Rory in the second half of last year at like the BMW Wentworth or something like that?
Yeah.
One of those names that I thought he really, had a pretty good run this year. Could compete in some big events and maybe even get his name onto the Ryder Cup team. I really thought with Billy Horschel and some of the play that he had that wasn't the most far-fetched thing of all time. So could not have been an easy call with 3 majors left in the Ryder Cup and all that. He must be in a pretty bad spot.
Yeah, I thought I saw some rumblings that he could get back possibly at the end of the summer. So I don't know but he's not going to make the team without any events and moving up the rankings and stuff. So that sucks, but he's probably looking forward to feeling healthy and getting this behind him. But that does suck for such a fiery guy that's been playing some good golf and definitely wants to be in the team events.
He's 16th right now. He's 16th in the standings for Team USA. So it's like 12 guys
how many
make
more does
it.
he have in him too?
I know. Fuck, that sucks. That was the first thing I thought of when he posted that. I was like, shit.
Always rooting for Billy Ho. He's a guy we got a long history with. We got a couple of guys like this where we made some jokes when we first kind of had the show, and then
we were brutal, Billy. We were
we're opinionated podcasters and bloggers, and then we meet him. He's nice enough to play us at TPC Sawgrass. We have the best fucking day with him, and we're fans ever since. So obviously, rooting for a fast recovery for our guy Billy.
We had a couple scotches with him afterwards. Remember that? We had a couple scotches with him in the locker room there, that like special players locker room, bar of the Players Championship. And then, dude, we were in there and he was a trooper. We had one loud fellow with us that just wouldn't shut up, and Billy handled that whole situation really well. God, I remember that little time with Billy.
That was fun.
What a legend.
I'll tell you who's not handling a situation right now, and it's Frankie Borelli. His mic just fell off his stand, and he just can't get this thing
Can you
back.
guys hear me?
I can, yeah.
Through this?
I think so.
Yeah.
Is he good,
that was
Brendan?
wild, dude. I don't know how I usually have. Oh, there we go. That was crazy. It just kind of fell off and like exploded in my hand.
That's what she said. I do want to say in this moment that I got a new cord. I've had a new cord the last 2 episodes. People can't see me if you're listening on the audio, but on YouTube, I'm going back and forth. I'm moving around. I could jump around this hotel room if I wanted to. Just had to order a new cord, and that was it.
Wow. That's really beautiful. Well done.
I'm back. Thank you.
I'll be right back. I think I got to switch my mic now.
Hey, probably leave and return. Is that a little bit of vindication for you, Trent, that he just had a cord issue?
Yeah, that's what brought it up. I was like, oh, that son of a bitch. Because, I don't want to get too much into it because I know it probably annoys people, but
that's all right.
I got a new cord. That was the problem. And Now we're
You
just
know what,
back.
dude? Billy was great in the TGL too. You know,
Yes.
I know he overdid a little bit with the Dirty Bird and stuff, but for the most part, he was great. He played well. He brought the thunder. Their team won the whole thing. He was great.
It's really, yeah, the Dirty Bird was a lot, but it's hard to hate on a guy who's trying and like wants it to be good. And it's a new league and you can kind of make it whatever you want. So, you know, he tried to do some dances, but he was mostly just really competitive and enjoyed the environment. And that is kind of what TGL needed. And he spearheaded that whole thing.
He was great. He was a great
Yeah.
addition to the TGL. I thought he brought the energy. His team played phenomenally. So, yeah, I like Billy. I used to write "fuck Billy Horschel" on my blogs. Yeah, I used to just add that
Damn.
randomly
I
to
think
my
a lot of it was
blogs.
warranted. Not like maybe as much hate that we had, but he was a pretty fiery figure in the game of golf, constantly throwing clubs. He was a lunatic out there. He may have been like misunderstood, but
I said he looked like Christian Bale from American Psycho.
that was a perfect reference.
Yeah. I nailed it. People love your references, man. Your
I
references are out
always
of
do.
control.
Always.
Ever since the Chambers Bay, when he had that putt, he did this little thing when his ball was like wobbling back and forth on the greens. I was very much just like out on Billy Horschel after that. And then, yeah, he ended up becoming a great friend of ours. I love when we see Billy Horschel. He
Love it.
fucking cracks
Great
me up
guy.
every time, man. I know. He is an awesome guy. That's a perfect reference, dude. That is exactly what he looks
Fucking
like. He's a
references.
handsome guy. He's a handsome cat.
Handsome double.
For sure.
Wears his outfits nicely. You know, he's kind of got that like slim, jacked look to him a little bit.
Mhm.
I'm jealous of
Yeah.
that body type. As a guy who's just
So
thick
nice.
all the way through and like clothes look horrible on me and I'm just a goober and I'm just ugly as shit.
Dude, he's almost got a
handsome.
hockey body type, kind of. You know, Frankie?
Yeah.
The way he wears
People-
his gear.
People who are thin, like naturally thin in that way is like, what's that even like? I'm from the Midwest. My dad's stocky. My grandpa was stocky. Like I had no chance to ever wear clothing in the right way, and I'm jealous of the people who can.
Did you guys see Witt's legs in that video that Robbie Berger posted on his Instagram story? He kind of got torched. Everyone was putting the little chicken legs underneath it. Gave me
No.
some confidence to start wearing some shorts if Witt's the one out there.
I didn't see it.
It was
No.
incredible.
Skinny or white or both?
Both.
Mm.
I like that. I like seeing that. I like seeing people going out there and showing them off.
That's some representation for you.
Need it. We need people going out there and taking a bullet. We had Clemmer a
that's
couple years
huge.
ago.
Clemmer running down the hallways at Barstool HQ.
That one picture when he's sitting in that chair is insane.
Yeah. I remember that video came out of him running down the hallway at Barstool HQ, and I think Dave quote tweeted being like, "This just got this guy 2 extra years at Barstool."
No, I think
This
it was
video-
the legs picture. He goes like, this
Oh.
yeah. Clemmer's legs just got him 2 more years.
There you go, man. That's your representation. Clemmer and Ryan Whitney. You gotta get out there in shorts, dude. You got it. You're gonna be a dad soon. You can do whatever you want.
So
True.
soon, dude.
True, dude. Dad
Like
life.
today,
You can get away with
probably.
anything.
Hours.
You want to give people an update?
Update.
Yeah, man. It's
Baby
crazy. Like, so we're like 7 days past the due date. I feel like, you know, this has been kind of a wild couple weeks. Like, I feel like an idiot for being home this long, but like you just never knew when it was going to happen. And it's like every single day we're like today, like right now could be the moment. And that's been like 3 straight weeks. So this baby just doesn't want to come out. It's very comfortable inside. We don't know if it's a boy or a girl. So anticipation is at an all-time high. We're going in tonight around like 6:00, and then the party starts. Like it's just inducing, and it's going to be a tough night for Hannah for sure. You know, so I just got to be there and just. I don't know what to expect, man. I really don't. It's really weird feeling. Like last night we got like emotional. We were like, this is crazy. It's our last night with no like real worries or like obligations. You know what I mean? Like we have them for ourselves, but there's like, this is it until like, this is it. Like until it's over, until we are off this earth. Like we're doing the thing. Like, you know, like we're humans and we're making another human. And like, that's almost, if there's something that feels so, I don't know. It's like a weird, and I haven't even met this baby yet, but like, there's something that just feels so like real about it. You know, everything else is so fabricated. And it's like, what movie are we going to watch? Like now we got to like legit care for life and like make sure that all goes well. And like, that's the only thing that we have to really focus on. And like the lead up to that and like knowing there's like a time, like we're checking into the hospital is like so weird.
Yeah.
Like it's not spur of the moment. It's like we're just fucking sitting around today waiting to go have a kid. It's like we have a fucking
dinner reservation.
like we have a reservation.
Yeah.
Like your
Go
steak will
look
be
at-
Yeah,
ready.
because it's you grow up, you see the movies, it's chaos, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, the water broke. Oh, the baby's coming in the back of the car, and like it's a little different for you guys.
I even listened to Rowan tell his story, and he's like, yeah, she called him from downstairs or whatever, and she's like, my water just broke, and he said the 40-minute drive he took 12 minutes and just like rushed her there.
Yep.
And so like we're just walking in nice and calm, ready to go. And I mean I looked at Hannah, I'm like, you are in for like an awakening tonight, because like
Well-
everything's so calm right now, I'm like, just
Yeah.
like tonight's gonna be wild. Like let's
Well,
do
I was
this.
going to say that too, and it's like pregnancies are so common. Everybody, a lot of people have kids, and it's like
Billions of people.
you kind of just like scoot over, like, oh yeah, we had a kid. It's like what the woman has to. I mean, you got to give birth. You have to do it, and it's like what a Herculean effort. Like that is all the best to the women who do that, because it's just like wow.
Wow is right, man.
You know what I
We went out to
mean?
dinner last night,
Yep.
and like even the waitress was talking to
Same.
Hannah, and she's like, "It's gonna be a lot." And like, can we just have our like? I had like French onion chicken; it was so good. But like, can you just like,
And all you're going to do is sit there. I mean, you're going to be there and you're going to be supportive.
thinking
But
of
it's
grabbing
like you
a
just sit
leg,
there.
maybe.
Yeah, and Hannah's doing a
Everything.
100% of the work.
I'm gonna watch her be a hero tonight. It's crazy.
Yes.
So yeah, it'll be a long night. We're going at like 6. I don't think it starts until like 9, and then I think tomorrow morning is when they like expect everything to kind of get going. So I'll keep you guys updated. But yeah, man, it's emotional. Like we were saying last night, like or my mom texted me like, "You're gonna be a dad," and I was like, "I'm the kid,"
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like making
Yeah.
me tear up right now. It's like it's crazy. Like
You're going to get me
I'm
too if
the
you keep
kid.
talking like that.
yeah.
I know.
Like
Cool.
I'm a kid. I'm
Yeah.
tearing up. I can't have a kid. Like that's
Yes,
crazy.
you can.
Like mentally,
Of course
you're
you
like,
can't, dude. You're gonna
no, I
crush
know,
it.
and I know we're gonna be great, but that's the part that gets me like so excited and nervous and everything. Where you're like, I don't know, I'm just I'm my mom's kid. You know what I mean? Like I can't. That's crazy that
Yeah.
life has gotten to this point now. It's like, where has it gone? Number one, it's like it's so fast. I don't know. It's nuts. I'm very, 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 very excited. I'm very, very nervous, and I just can't wait for all the emotions and for everything to happen. I'm sure I won't cry. I'll be fine.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, sure.
It's going to be great. It's going to be
We're
so
still
great.
thinking of names today. You know what I mean? Like we have no idea. We got no clue.
You got one side of it. You
Frank,
obviously
if it's
know.
a boy, it's Frank the Fourth, which is like hilarious.
Amazing.
That's beautiful.
If it's a girl, we have a couple names. I think we're gonna wait to see what the baby looks like, and then just because I think like once you look the baby in the eyes, you're like, that looks like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
So
Cool stuff, man.
is what it is, man. Yeah, it's very exciting, and I'll probably be able to pop. I mean, hopefully everything goes well, and I should be able to pop on the show next week and let you guys do a little quick pop in and let you guys know how it's going and kind of give my side of it, and then I'll pop out, and
Hell yeah.
yeah, it'll be crazy. It'll be absolutely crazy.
I love it.
Baby update.
I love it. Baby update. That's a baby update. Golfers are hitting the links, and we have some tournaments to talk about. And if you want to do more than just talk, put your money where your mouth is. Get in on all the tee to green action with DraftKings Sportsbook. Look, been having myself a great time ever since Rory McIlroy at the Masters tournament.
Yep.
Trent and I were talking about this at Oakmont. We're on the very first tee. We're talking about DraftKings, how much fun and how well we've done this year. It really got me juiced up, Trent.
Yeah, no, big tournament coming up. I think we looked, I don't know what it is right now, but Rory and Scotty were tied as the favorites at plus 500. So I've been looking at that. I know it might be chalk, but I'm still looking at it. I still have my not golf related, but I still have my OKC to win the NBA Finals bet going on. They lost game 1 to the Nuggets, which was disappointing. Game 2 is tonight, so people listening will know the results of that one. But it's just fun to get involved. There's a lot going on. NHL playoffs are going on. MLB baseball is back. Like, it's just really fun. You go on the DraftKings Sportsbook, take a look. I guarantee you're going to find something. Get in on the action and just have fun with it.
I've been having so much fun every night too with the NHL playoffs. Just those live bets, man. People have been coming back left and right. Happened again last night. Again, the Edmonton Oilers were down 2-0. Dude, the Vegas Knights had never in their history led by multiple goals in a playoff game and not won the game in like regulation. And last night the Oilers came back and won. They're down 2-0 early in the first period. Oilers come back, win the game. It's been so fun live betting these, and DraftKings is a spot to do it. Here's something special for first timers, by the way. New DraftKings customers, you bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use the code FORE. That is FORE. Code is FORE for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. The best golf course snack out there. It is the One Protein Bars. Golf is hard, but getting your protein can be easy because One Bars made protein bars perfected with one Reese's Peanut Butter Lovers and one Hershey's Cookies and Cream. 18 grams of protein, only 3 grams of sugar. I know, Trent, you're more of the Reese's Peanut Butter Lovers guy. I'm more of the cookies and cream guy. The beauty of it is they've got both. I like both, but I prefer the cookies and cream. These things are must-have in my golf bag when I leave the house.
They are must-have, and we talk a lot about Oakmont on this show. And I forgot to eat breakfast, or I just didn't eat breakfast before we went out there when we played. And like 8 holes in, I was like, I'm starving. And Brendan Jones handed me a one bar, and it was like I saw an oasis in the desert. I was like, this is exactly what I needed. Filled me up, 18 grams of protein, just 3 grams of sugar, like you said. And it's the perfect golf course snack. You just, a couple holes in, you're just like, I need something. I don't want a full meal. And bang, a one bar is there for you. Perfect golf course snack. Perfect.
And also got other flavors. One has delicious flavors like birthday cake, maple glazed donut, and blueberry cobbler. So make sure you buy new One Reese's Peanut Butter Lovers Protein Bar on Amazon. Again, check the One Reese's Peanut Butter Lovers Protein Bars out on Amazon. Did you guys see the Biebs? The Bieber is posting some golf stuff.
Just crazy way of posting it too. Just like a bunch of Instagram posts with no captions. Like I'm talking like 9 just swings, all individual posts.
So I don't follow Justin Bieber's life that closely, but I do know enough, and I'm on social media enough that like I'm not sure what's going on with him recently. I've seen levels of concern. Yeah, he posted just bang on his Instagram a bunch of Frankie's showing us.
Shocking way to do it is right. Like we wouldn't do that, and we do golf content for a living. That would be stunning if we posted
every
like
post
that.
has 200,000 likes.
I mean,
400,000, 500,000.
And then I saw Bryson jump in the comments being like, let's film some content. Like that's immediately like they're trying to get that happening. But like, yeah, I don't know what to say about Justin Bieber's Instagram posts of golf swings. It's pretty interesting.
I just laughed. I saw it. Not bad action, really.
No,
kind of goes after it.
He does that like really lean to like see where the ball's going every time.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him. He's been dealing with a lot of, I think, like the paparazzi situation. I saw one.
He's had a lot of those emerge lately, you know, or he's getting into it with
done with it, man. Like he's just fucking done. And he told a story on one show or even on his own podcast where he was like, or his own Instagram where he was like, he was doing so much drugs and drinking or whatever it was. He was doing so much that like his security guards would have to come in and like check if he was still breathing. Like he just would stay at home and just like try and get away from all of this stuff. And like now he's just kind of, you know, seeing life again and like trying to get out and enjoy it. And I think everyone's like always all over him. I mean, I don't know much about Bieber, but like he went to Coachella and everyone's like, he doesn't look well. And he's like, I'm just like having fun with my friends. He's getting to that point of fame. He's always been in that point of fame where like anything he does now is scrutinized. If he smiles, they're like, oh, he must be on drugs. If he's sad, it's like, oh, he's depressed. It's like, it's crazy when you get to that level, man.
No, it's really hard. I have a lot of empathy for a guy like him where you're very, very famous your whole life, and that is not a regular life. And like you're saying, you smile one time or you look a certain way in one picture and people are drawing all these conclusions. I mean, the fact that like when you're that famous for that long, and he's like a one of one in that case where I think he's handled it pretty well. Like,
yeah.
got a great wife. He's got a kid. It's like the whole thing's like seems like it's going well, but the paparazzi and the media want him to have some sort of drama. I didn't
They
think
need
we were gonna
something
be
going
having
on.
like a Biebs like update, but like they want that storyline. Like, is he on drugs? Is he falling out? Like, is this the fall of Justin Bieber? There's no music. Like, where is he at? And then like he'll come out and post videos of he left his house the other day because I follow him. I find it all really interesting. It's one of the more interesting lives you can live. And it sucks. It's like all for negative reasons, aside from like the money and the huge freaking. I mean, I saw him standing in front of one of his TVs that he was watching the Leafs, and it was comical how big the TV was. He was the size of the puck. It was crazy. He was standing
like
in front of the
TGL
screen.
in his house.
Yes, he essentially
that
had
too.
TGL inside his house.
Dude, he had the couch too. It's just like the
Couches are
whole room
insane.
was like a giant couch that he was just laying
Yeah,
on.
he
It
has
was awesome.
multiple rooms with multiple massive TVs, but there's one theater room that he posted that was like it took my breath away.
I love it. We're like, listen, it's hard to be famous, but you get really big TVs. So
Huge TV. The
you
biggest
get big
TV.
TVs and big couches if you get really
big and big pants. Everything's like huge. Everything's big. But he posted one of him leaving his house and like his view of all the flashing at night, like just to get into his car. And he's like, look at these fucking people, man. Like he's saying it to the camera. And these guys are relentless.
He's got to go the Elton John route, Sir Elton John, who we talked about last episode.
Yep.
Get rid of the phone. But I don't know. Are people still hounding Sir Elton John every single day? They probably are,
I
right?
think he's like going blind.
Oh,
I think Sir Elton John's like going blind.
damn. I didn't know that.
All right.
I saw my guy, Dr. De La Russo, who did my LASIK vision. He was on like Entertainment Tonight talking about Sir Elton John losing his eyesight.
You think you gave him that bump? You think like they were like, this is the guy who did Frankie Borelli's
I think that's
eyes.
where I saw Dr. De La Russo.
Mm.
It's a bummer. I love Sir Elton John.
Sir Elton John's eyes.
There's something going on with his eyesight.
Sir Elton John has experienced a significant loss of vision in his right eye due to an infection and has also stated that his left eye is, quote, not the greatest. While he is recovering, he has shared that he is unable to see anything in his right eye and has limited vision in his left eye.
Yeah, that sucks.
That does.
I don't think that has anything to do with the paparazzi. I just thought that would be a nice Elton John update.
I love Elton John.
We got a baby update, we got a Bieber update, and we got an Elton John update.
You never know what you're going to get on the show. Never have
really
for years and years and years. Did you see this Michael Kim story? We have someone appears to have shit their pants in one of the porta potties that's player and caddy only. He tweeted out, story from Hilton Head. This is what he was updating from a couple weeks ago. He said, there are player caddy only porta potties near tee boxes. One caddy went to use one on Thursday morning, and in the corner of the porta potty sees a pair of boxer briefs with some, and then he used the shit emoji. They tried to find out who it was, but couldn't figure it out. Laughing emoji. The briefs were a brand that had a brand ambassador, but it was proven that it was not him, LOL. And now it has had people going crazy trying to figure out who this was.
Wow.
You let that guy shit his pants in his own
I kind of agree.
world,
I agree. That guy made it through that moment without any more damage than just leaving his boxers. That's pretty impressive because he must have been in a very trying situation.
Yeah, now he's like, I got these internet sleuths on my trail just because I had a problem.
There's a caddy listening to all this being like, God, I hope they don't find out that was me. Because who knows when he shit his pants, Yeah.
Right. I know.
He's like, all right, I'm done with that. I'm never going to think about it again. And then boom, we're back.
Because that was a bad situation, man. It could have happened 3 holes prior to that fucking porta potty. And he's like, I got to get somewhere now. Gets in, gets out, unscathed. Probably feels like shit, no pun intended.
Hey.
Then has to see Michael Kim. What's Michael Kim's story? Because he's all over Twitter. He's like a massive Twitter follow. Yeah. But he's what's his story?
I want to say he was just sort of a grinding PGA Tour type player, still pretty much is, who had a good little honest social following and then really got a lot more attention this year when he started playing really well. Like he went from a guy that would tweet exactly what it cost down to the cent to play on the PGA Tour. It was like $90-something thousand that it cost him for hotels and flights. He was doing a lot of that stuff over the years. And then he would tweet out a really honest thread about what an equipment deal looks like for a tour pro, and he would go through the perks, how many clubs he has to use, whatever. And people love that stuff. And then all of a sudden he started finishing second. He finished second at Torrey Pines. think he finished top 5 or so at like Phoenix Open. He had that stretch where it was like, oh, this awesome follow who's really honest about what it's like to be out on tour is also now competing in a lot of the biggest events. I think that kind of elevated him a little bit. But outside of that, I don't think it's. I think that's kind of the story.
From what I can tell, he seems like a guy that we would like.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to have him on the show.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be really good.
Totally. He's like, yeah, I don't even know if I've ever seen him on a show. But he's everywhere, dude. He's everywhere on Twitter.
I want to say he's like responded to a bunch of my daily nines and stuff with like ideas and shit.
Was he the one that said that they should put a rake and someone with a big following said that they should throw sand in the divot and put a rake next to it when Trent hit that shot at TPC Sawgrass. I can't remember who it was though.
I'm not sure. That's funny. Michael Kim.
Yeah, we should get him on the show because I'd like to hear like everything, because he does like all these breakdowns of everything, and then also like gives away tickets to all the events that he plays in to like kids and shit. It's fucking he's a great follow on Twitter.
We'll fire him a DM right now. Get his ass on the show.
I like that a lot.
This episode is brought to you by Brex, B-R-E-X. Any finance folks out there listening? Well, we found something you'll love as much as the excitement of golf's major championships. Meet Brex. It's a modern finance platform built to give you both control and speed. With a corporate card, banking, expenses, and travel all in one place, Brex ensures that the best companies can manage company spend, automate expenses, and get every dollar to the right place. This has earned them the trust of 30,000 companies from the fastest growing AI startups to global enterprises. In fact, we are a proud Brex user here at Barstool Sports, and I have to say it has made an incredibly noticeable difference instantly.
Dude, I think in the last month and a half, I've been home for 4 days. So you can imagine the amount of expenses that I have. And in the past, with our old system, it was like, yuck, I'm going to have to put aside 6 hours to do all of my expenses. Now with Brex, it takes like a third of the time, maybe even like way less. I'm saying you upload a receipt, bang, it does it all for you. It autofills, it's happening. You're on the move. You don't have to take all the time in the world. Brex has actually changed my life in terms of time management because they do it in such a seamless way. And for guys who are on the road as much as us, putting expenses through can take a lot of time. But with Brex, not the case. I am actually so happy and so grateful for Brex.
It's been huge. You can learn more at brex.com/grow. We're loving this thing. It's made our expenses that much easier, which we expense stuff nonstop, like Trent just said. Once again, learn more at brex.com/grow. Let's do a voicemail from the gallery. It's brought to you. I don't know if we got a sponsor for the gallery today, but the phone number is 646-685-4717. If you want to call in and leave a voicemail for the fellas. Again, it could be a debate. It could be a story. It could be anything, really. And we could talk about it at 646-685-4717.
I'm going to say this voicemail segment is sponsored by the 50-yard challenge video that we just put out with Jersey Jerry.
Hell yeah.
Jersey Jerry.
Go watch that video on our YouTube channel. Very interesting concept. I know we were at Macklemore when we came up with it, and Frankie had tweeted it out. It was a controversial question, and then we got an answer for it. We just answered the question with Jerry. So watch that.
Give it a watch.
Hello, this is Mackenzie from Liverpool in England. Just a quick question for the lads. What are Americans' thoughts on links golf? Obviously in the UK, links golf is the pinnacle. The Open every year, 85 of the top 100 courses in the UK are links courses. We love it. But what do Americans actually think? I know they come over every year for the Open. They're all media trained. They say, oh yeah, we love it, blah, blah, blah. But is that true? Do they love the pot bunkers, the undulating fairways, the weather off the sea? I should be very interested to hear, are they just lying and saying what they want for the camera, or do Americans actually love links golf? Be good to speak to you. Thanks very much. Bye.
Love that accent, man.
Mackenzie
do you guys
from
love
Liverpool.
Love it, or do you not love it? Or are they lying?
God, that's great.
Mackenzie, shout out to him.
That's a great call, man. That is a really good voicemail right there. It's an excellent question because I think everybody gets a little bit wrapped up in the history and the old school nature and the throwbackness of playing links golf for sure. There's a romanticism to being out by the sea and it's sort of misty and it's 50 degrees on a nice day and cloudy and windy. And there's pop bunkers, the ball's bouncing and rolling. It's brown, it's not as green. And again, there's a beautiful nature to that whole thing that everybody loves. And I love the shit out of it. I think it's awesome. It's why we all go to Bandon. It's why we love like all the places around here that play Linksy, the closest we can get in the US. But I think that he's onto something, that there's plenty of American golfers who grew up that are like, brother, perfectly mowed tee boxes, perfectly level tee boxes, green grass, tree lined fairways with beautiful fairways that are like carpet. It's 75 degrees out and a little bit sunny. I think there's probably plenty of Americans that actually prefer that type of golf.
I love links golf. I like when we went to Scotland, I felt like it just, the options it gives you, as opposed to like, all right, your option here is just hit an 8-iron really, really high and land it on the green. Like that's kind of your only option here. When you play link style, there's just so many other little options because the grass is different. You can just run something up. You can putt from, feels like, wherever you want. That golf to me, and it really just comes down to personal preference, but I played really well in Scotland. And I think a big part of that was every time you step up to a ball, you can kind of do a couple different things. It doesn't just take one shot. And I think American golf, a lot of the time, it's like you kind of got one shot here, and it's to hit a perfect iron onto the green. You just got to boom, you got to hit it so high that it just drops onto the green. And if you don't have that shot everywhere, it can be really difficult. But when you're playing link style, I think you have so many different options that I really love that. And it takes a lot more creativity, and you can kind of do whatever you want out there.
Yeah, it's great. And to answer his question, I don't think people are lying when they go over there, when they're really hooting and hollering about links golf. I think because of all the things you guys just described, it's just so different than what we're used to here. We don't have many experiences that bring us what links golf gives us when we go over to Ireland and Scotland and Liverpool and all these places, right? And so I do think that there's like a sense of playing something completely different that gets us really juiced up. I think if you polled most Americans, like, where would you want to play for the rest of your life, I think they'd pick something that's more personal to them. Like for me, I'd rather play Bethpage for the rest of my life than I would a links golf course. But when you sprinkle in the opportunity to go play something different, like a links golf course on a trip, or go out to Bandon or whatever it might be, it really does make you feel like it's a very, very cool variation of the game that you love. It's just, I think it's based off of where you're from. I think if we took Mackenzie and put him on the first tee at Bethpage, he'd be like, what is this place? Like just totally different. Thick, rough, long golf holes, bunkers, and just like trees everywhere and luscious green grass. Way different than what he's experiencing in the UK, where he might be like, holy shit, like what a test of golf out here. And I don't think he'd be lying if you like really talked it up and hammed up like that long, big ballpark golf course experience. So I think it's really just a product of where you grew up. And I don't think anyone really like hams it up with the excitement. I think it's all pretty true. Like it's just so different. And I love the fact that you have to get on a flight, go all the way across the Pacific Ocean just to go experience that whole different version of the game of golf. That's the other things you got to think about. Like it's a fucking trip for us. Sorry, the Atlantic. He wants to. I know. I thought about that right when I said it. You want us to go across.
It's gonna take longer.
A whole body of water to go play your style of golf. We're gonna be jacked up when we get on that tee box. So
yeah, I agree with that. I very much agree with that. I think people love it. I think when people go over there, like Frankie was just saying, it's an experience that we really can't get. There's a couple places that we've gotten as close as we can with a Bandon or whatever. But dude, like when we played Prestwick, and 2 or 3 of those holes are coming back literally into the town, into the clubhouse, into the old school nature of that Scottish town that's been there forever. And you're hitting a chip that, like, if you hit this chip a little too hard, it rolls like out of bounds into the street. That's unlike anything we ever could get. And that's just so fun to play.
And you definitely get swept up in what you mentioned at the beginning, Riggs, of the history where you're walking on fairways that people have been walking on for hundreds of years. And that you're just like, wow, you're kind of playing where the game was, and you are playing where the game was invented. And you're like, that's really cool. And these golf courses still exist and you can still play them and they're still tough and they are very different. But like you're literally walking through history, and that you get chills when you're over there.
Yeah, we kind of enjoy it so much that you actually want it to be authentic. Like you want there to be a day or two where it's fucking raining a little bit and blowing sideways while you're trying to play. I remember the first round I ever played out there. It was like I wanted my ball to go into a pop bunker on the very first hole. I was like, give me a pop bunker. Like I've never been in one. I've never seen one. Never been in a real Scottish pop bunker. Give me a pop bunker. You're like rooting for that stuff because the authenticity of that links golf to us is so different. It's so cool, and you can't get it anywhere. So yeah, nobody's lying. But I also do think there's plenty of Americans that probably come off some of those courses and be like, just get me back to like Parkland and like Dome Golf, and I want perfectly manicured stuff. I'm sure there's plenty of people that have that mindset. I think we all are pretty much in agreement of like when you're there and you're doing it and you've flown over there and you get the real links golf experience, it's insane how cool it is. And it's like spiritual, it's emotional, it's like romantic a little bit that you're doing the damn thing. It's all of it is very, very real for sure. It's cool that we get both. Like it's very, very cool that you can have both.
I also, and we can move on, but I was also enchanted by the difference in terms of like barrier to entry. Like in America, it's very country club. You know, you have to pay, you have to know people there to be able to play there. In Scotland, it's very much like this is pretty much a public park where we put golf holes on. And if you play on a Sunday morning, people are going to be walking their dogs, and you can kind of play not everywhere, but you can get into more courses than you would think. And that part of it, that more blue collar style is also very romantic. And I enjoyed that part of it.
Totally. All right, everybody. Great show. Thanks for listening. Thanks for submitting the voicemails. Our guy Mackenzie from Liverpool, just an excellent voicemail. You can leave more again, 646-685-4717. Big thanks to all of our partners. As always, none of this exists without them. Chevy, T-Mobile, Aura Frames, DraftKings, One Protein, and Brex. And then big shout out to our whole behind the scenes crew, makes everything happen. And to the fans, thanks for listening. Have a delightful weekend. Next time we return, it'll probably be a big change in Frankie's life. It'll be a major championship week, so the show rolls on. So we'll see you then. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.